There's a difference between the person in a CrossFit gym, like the one that you say, like, hey, this is a brick wall. We're going to run through it today. And they're like, well, okay, that's going to make me fitter. Versus the person who just came in there looking for like fitness, and they're the ones that just never really stuck to it. Like they didn't show up on the Friday Night Lights. They don't care if they PR a snatch. Or like, this is just a vessel that I came to do fitness. And there's just these two very unique user groups. And obviously the ones that ActiveLife works with are those who are either personally as a client so invested in a training methodology or a style or a sport or an event or an ability to do something that to fix that problem is an utmost priority, a priority they will spend time, money, and energy on. With CrossFit creating that kind of a breed of an individual, do you guys find as people like, because in the beginning, I always used to talk with the OPEX guys, I'm like, with individual design, I'm like, you're going to get the CrossFit athlete kids, the kids who really want to compete. What happens when that like sport becomes unobtainable, just kind of like the NBA and things like that? Have you noticed a drop off or a shift in that clientele away from this individual who wants to be this higher end professional athlete in the sport of functional fitness, and those that just, I really want to muscle up and I really can't because my shoulder really hurts?
No. That's not what that's not the audience that we aim for.
In the beginning, was it more like competitive CrossFitters who get, like I look at the LCKs, like with like some of your earlier videos, I was going through a lot of the older ones, and I was looking at videos of her back when she was competitive LCK and, fixing her. And
we didn't work with her when she was competitive.
So was post?
Oh, well, post. Yeah. That was like a year ago. So the competitive CrossFit landscape for us evolved because I can get into how we got into the competitive space, but it became, one year at the CrossFit Games, I remember having 40 athletes on my phone who I was keeping tabs on in the warm-up area and after workouts to make sure everything was going well. Like 40 games athletes in 2016 or 2017. I remember which year it was. And that actually was a double-edged sword. It got our name out there a lot. And at the same time, people thought they needed to be an elite athlete to work with us. And we aren't Invictus. We're not brute strength. We're not writing programs for elite athletes to be elite athletes. We are helping the coaches who work with elite athletes to keep them able to train. Big difference there. We're not Ford or Ferrari or GMC. We're Exxon. We're the gas in the car. So we found that it was actually more of a problem than it was a benefit to be working with all of those elite athletes who were talking about us, because the audience who we wanted to serve felt like they couldn't work with us if they weren't elite.
And now with that, the evolution of that, do you still carry a roster of working with individuals or coaches like that are still in that realm, or is it far less?
We will. The big difference is we're not looking for them.
Got it.
So
versus you were actively looking. Were you looking for them prior?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking for them prior. We weren't. We tried after we worked with Jacob Hepner and Lindy Barber very successfully. We were like, we want to help you organize how you can tell the world about us. So we will pay you, a stipend, like $1,000 a month each, to continue to tell the world our story. Because at that point, they didn't need our program design anymore. So how were they going to tell people about us on their social? It just didn't make sense. So we needed to create a way to, hey, we're going to send you this to do, and if you could post it, that'd be great. And they did that. That wasn't extremely fruitful. Before that, we would work with all of these athletes, 90% of them no charge. The expense to them was sharing content, regular sharing of content. And they were all for it. But so we would ask athletes, is there anybody who you're friends with who would like to work with us as well? And the interesting there is no, because I'm going to beat them if.
Sure.
So
competitive athletes not wanting to help the other competitive athletes get.
It was a really, really interesting space, because competitive athletes in CrossFit especially, they don't want people to know what their ailments are. So there's this level of like, working with ActiveLife on everything just to fine tune everything. Definitely not patellar tendonitis. It's definitely not shin splints. I'm definitely not dealing with some labrum issues in my shoulder. Nope. I'm just making sure everything works well.